This is the project we're going to do today. I'm calling this one Puppy Canyon. And these are the stamps that I used. Making a Scene, the Overlook deck, M10 229E. Making a Scene, Lone Puppy, T4 110A. Making a Scene, Grass Short, M1 026B. Making a Scene, Canyon Wall, T2-052H. From Stampscapes, use the Rocky Bluff 439G. And this large pine tree from the Stampscapes Nature Set 1, along with this dual set, also from the Nature Set 1. And then from Art Impressions, use these two little flowers. This is from the Flower Set 3, 5008. This one is from the Mini Flower Set, 5009. The Small Grass from the Foliage Set, 4051. And this little tree from the WC Tree Set 1, 5010. And then these are the different colored inks and that were used to color the piece. And let's begin. Okay, I'm going to use a 1/4 sheet chrome coat paper. And I will start by stamping the Overlook deck, and I'm going to use some Stampin Up Soft Suede. And I'm going to give this a chance to dry before I put the mask on that I made, and then we will stamp in the canyon walls. Okay, I put the mask on, and I'm going to use soft suede again, Stampin' Up. And I will give this a little bit of a chance to dry. I smeared a little bit right here, but I don't think that will matter too much. Okay, I'm going to take a Marvy marker. This is the number 45 Sepia. And I'm going to just draw down here to kind of complete within these slats. And I am also going to continue the boardwalk. And next I am going to stamp the little dog. Make sure I'm placed properly here. And once again I'll use soft suede. Okay, next I'm going to put a mask on the little dog. And then I'm going to use my soft suede again. And I'm going to use this positioner here. And so I'll stamp it on the acrylic plate first. Then I'm going to ink it up. Then I'm going to place this where I want the bluff to be so that it doesn't overlap this. And so I'd say probably about like that. And then I will stamp it. Okay, now I'm going to use some more soft suede. And I'll use one of my little blending brushes. And I will just color down into the canyon. Okay, and I'll clean the brush off on a dry microfiber cloth. And then I'll use some Old Olive. Now I'll use some more soft suede again. Now I'll use my smaller brush, still using the soft suede. Okay, now I'm going to use some Old Olive. And I'm just going to stamp or ink up the top of the tree here. Then I'm going to put a mask down here, and I'm going to want just little trees kind of growing out of here. Okay, and I'll use some soft suede. Okay, and I'll use my Marvy LePlume number 45 to just kind of darken these slats here. Okay, and I'll use some Sahara sand, or crumb cake actually, and one of my Fantastics applicators, and I will just add a little bit of color here to the dog. Okay, I'm going to put the mask back on the little dog, and some Perfect Plum. And I will just add some shadows by the dog here. Okay, for the sky, I'm going to start with some Pool Party. Next, Marina Mist. And Island Indigo for the darkest. Okay, I'll use soft suede. Okay, now I'm going to use some white pigment ink. This is Hero Arts Unicorn White. And I'll use a blending brush here. Okay, now I want to add some more trees back in, so I'm going to use this little dual tree one this time. Old Olive again, and just stamp up the top, and then I'll put a little mask here so that okay, and I'm going to use one of my Fantastics with my white pigment ink. Okay, I'm going to add a little more soft suede color. Okay, and this pine tree in the foreground, I want to darken it a bit, so I'm going to use Marvy LePlume number 72 Pine Green. And I'll blend that in with number 15, olive green. And I'll use a little bit of number 86, African Violet. Okay, I'll use my old olive again. And I'm going to use my Art Impressions Little Grass. Okay, and I don't like this area over here, so I'm going to try add some wildflowers. So I'm using my Art Impressions Little Flower Bundle and number 55, and I'm just inking up the flower portion. And I'll also add a little bit of this wildflower, and I'll use number 8, Violet. And where the flowers are kind of floating on the rock, I'll add a little bit of grass underneath. Okay, I want to add a little bit more blue to the sky, so I'm going to add some more Island Indigo. Okay, now I'm going to add some highlights with a white gel pen. Okay, I'm putting this back in my stamp positioner, and I'm going to make the little dog, the top part of it, a little darker. So I'm going to use chocolate chip and just ink up the top part of the dog. Okay, now I'm going to dab the fog with just a dry cloth here. Okay, I'm going to give this a chance to dry really well, and then we'll be back. Okay, I'm losing the white color of that, so I've taken a pick and I'm kind of going on the end of a Q-tip to make it kind of fluffy. And I'll try adding just a little more of the white pigment ink. Okay, I don't like this region right here, so I am going to put this back in my stamp positioner. I'm going to put a little bit of temporary adhesive to hold everything into place. And I'm going to put this in. And then remove my Misty Creative corners. And I am going to use some old olive. I'm going to use some Versafine Black Onyx ink. Okay, and I think I want to add some black to this tree on this side too. So what I'm going to do is, this is still a little wet from this black, so I'm just going to put this on here, and I'm going to test the positioning of my tree over here and just kind of stamp it on, and it looks pretty good. It looks like it matches up pretty well with what was in there before. So what I'm going to do is I will get a little mask, put under here, and then I want to remove my creative corners, and then I will ink up the tree. Okay, now I'm going to give this black pigment ink a chance to dry. I may even let it dry overnight before I spray it with an acrylic coating. And let's see, I also need to determine a place where I want to sign and date it. Okay, before I spray it, I think I'm going to use an Art Impressions tree to get some darker trees in the foreground. So I'm going to use Old Olive again. Again, I didn't have to wait overnight. I just waited for several hours until the pigment ink was completely dry. And I've since sprayed it with the acrylic coating, and this is the final result. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye!